in the last couple of weeks, the Celtics had played with caliber postseason teams. What is the balance of you of those games? Looking forward to the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, regardless who we play, just focused, on the details and the margins and the things that go into winning. Tonight, it was the free throw line. The turnovers were about the same. Rebounding was, relatively the same, and they came out on top in the free throw rate. So, just focused on all those things that impact winning over the course of the game.
Joe, what made the paint so difficult to access against them, and what were some of the ways their defense challenged you guys?
I thought we got great looks. I mean, our shot quality was 1.18 in real time. We'll probably a little bit lower, but I thought we got amazing looks. I mean, that's just the shell of their defense. I mean, they protect the paint first. They try to get out. I thought our 2-on-1 reads were really good. So I thought we generated relatively great looks throughout most of the game.
Are there differences in terms of how you guys have to approach things offensively, maybe compared to different opponents, or are you kind of looking at the same general approach you guys would on any other night?
Yeah, I mean, I think that changes with every opponent depending upon what they're living with. Tonight they were, mostly recovering back to Al, who's great when he's in pick and pop situations, and played a ton of zone, which we were able to generate great looks on that and a lot of kick out reads. So I think it just depends on what the defense is giving you, what the coverages are.
This was a new example of how great Jayson Tatum has become as mastering the pick and roll. Do you think you could lean more into that sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we'll see what his pick and roll rate was tonight. But I thought he generated great looks for himself, and for others throughout the game, depending upon how he was being defended. We'll take a look at his pick and roll rate. Yeah.
Joe, the 35 free throw attempts for them, what do you attribute that to?
You have to match the level of physicality, so you have to do that. But, we follow a three-point shooter at the end of the quarter. We jump on a pump fake, don't show our hands on a tendency drive. There's a level of physicality that you have to play with. You also have to do your best to defend without fouling. So just a small balance there, but definitely ones that we could take away.
And it seemed like they were really hurting you with their cutting, baseline cuts a lot. Is that just something that you guys lost track of?
I think it's one of the things they really cut just to try to move you and distract you. There was a couple that I didn't think we handled well, but I don't know how many points we gave up on back cuts. To me, it was more, the first 9 points of the game were like tendency points, and the free throws really got the best of us.
Joe, they were in the penalty for the last 7.5 minutes. What do they do to kind of get in it so early, and what kind of stress does that put on the defense for the rest of the way?
Yeah, they have when they have multiple ball handlers and they got bigs that could generate free throws, you got to do your best to defend without fouling. So when you're in the penalty that early, it puts a lot of pressure. You're not as impactful as you want to be, and you got to be physical without fouling.
Despite shots not falling in the second half, it was 55-52 after halftime. What did you make of the team's ability to stay the course in spite of shots not going in?
Yeah, just gotta generate good looks. Again, we'll take a look at the margins and all the things that go into it. I thought we handled the majority well, but there was timely stuff. We don't get to 2 for 1 at the end of I think the first quarter. We fouled a 3-point shooter. We had some timely transition turnovers. They got some offensive rebounds at critical moments, and then they lived at the free throw line a little bit. So it just all those things get magnified when you have 2 really good teams playing against each other. They're a great team, and they took advantage of those things.
Joe, what can you take from a game? I mean, that's a team they want what you have. I mean, what can you take from this game in terms of using it to move forward?
Yeah, I mean, those things right there, right? Ending quarters, defending without fouling, tendencies, all those things that, really go into winning, matching the physicality, situational basketball, all those things that go into that.
Did their physicality not catch you off guard? Were you guys ready for it? It just seemed like, especially Hardenstein, the guys were getting frustrated. I mean, he's pulling, pushing. Yeah. He's doing what he has to do to get away.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. I mean, he's a really good player, and does a great job of mucking up the game. And I thought there were a lot of moments where we matched that, and then there was a few where we didn't. And I think that stuff like that's the difference in the game.
Foul to Jack and Sam.
Joe, they did a good job, pressing up on the pick and rolls, like you mentioned. Jayson got a lot of kickouts back to Al when they blitzed him a little bit, and they're great at rotating behind the ball as well. You mentioned you got good shot quality there, but when you're digesting a game like this and you see you made a lot of threes, but you also missed a lot of threes, how much of the balance is trusting that those will go in next time versus seeing how else you can beat that type of coverage and stuff like that?
I think it would just depend on how many we're catch and shoot off really good 2-on-1 reads. If we got a paint touch before, was it the right read? So I think you look at all those things there. I thought We generated a lot of catch and shoot opportunities, a lot of paint touch to kick out opportunities, and so you got to keep them off the free throw line and get stops so they can get out in transition. But for the most part, I think they were catch and shoot and 2-on-1 kick out opportunities.
Joe, you guys have struggled quite a bit in the last 10 games in the fourth quarter. What do you think needs to improve the most during that stretch?
So our pace is really high. Our defensive rebounding and our just some of our defensive tendencies for sure.
Thanks.
Yep, thanks.